Everyone's been talking about Black Myth Wukong, from the journalists who have been very upset over the massive hype levels to gamers who simply are happy we got another good gaming experience. But now we're finding out Black Myth Wukong has sold over 10 million copies across all platforms only 3 days after release, and there are still journos trying to bury this game. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I think we all expected this game to do extremely well. Not only does it have a large Chinese audience, but also a group of Western gamers who are sick and tired of the activism-filled slop we have been getting from the mainstream. Ubisoft, Warner Brothers, EA, Focus Entertainment, you name it, and they are pumping out low-quality garbage. And people are sick of that, so we are looking to alternatives. I know Korean game developers right now are seeing a boom in sales, and they are actively trying to listen to what gamers want, but there are also quite a few Chinese video game companies that are doing the same thing, and Black Myth Wukong is Game Science's first title. I know they are filled with some Chinese gaming industry vets, but this is their first project together, and they are having an amazing time with it so far because they simply created what they wanted, and they were not influenced by outside sources like a Sweet Baby Inc. And now we're finding out that Black Myth Wukong has sold over 10 million copies across all platforms for years at this point. The mainstream media has been doing their very best to bury this game. We know that they had tried initially with the trailer because it had come out years ago and it looked so amazing. They were saying, there's no way this is going to come out. It's too good to be true. This looks unrealistic. It's not going to launch. And now it is, and that's proven wrong. But over the past couple of weeks, they have been pumping out articles about the IGN accusations, which of course were mistranslated, and IGN never apologized for that. But they have been pushing that narrative that, well, game science is filled with sexists, even though nothing anyone at the company said was sexist. Sure, some crude humor, some smutty humor you might not like, but nothing that would scream sexism. And it was definitely, reflected in their reviews. They were saying people probably shouldn't play this, that people are, supporting a bad company. And we just had seen the .esports associate editor raging at this title's developers and demanding the game include more diversity, and Screen Rant, PC Gamer, they all did the same exact thing. This is their angle to try to attack the title and get you to not swipe your credit card. Not every game needs to be filled to the brim with diversity and inclusivity. And sure, if you're a developer and you want to make the, most woke game possible, you're allowed to. Titles like Concord, Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn, is the direction they went in with Suicide Squad, Dustborn, they are allowed to make those games, but that does not mean every developer needs to push a message in their title or go down a diversity checklist and check off boxes that, oh, we have 40% women or people of color or people with certain backgrounds. That's not the case. And these individuals, these activists cannot accept that. And because Game Science did not shove, again, hollow diversity into their title just for the sake of trying to follow mainstream trends, they've been trying to bury it. We know this .esports associate editor had just actually tried this in an article titled Black Myth Wukong's shameless lack of diversity is attracting the wrong type of fans. We also saw the IGN hit piece journalist Rebecca Valentine double and triple down on the accusations she and her co-worker had levied towards Game Science, but Screen Rant also had knocked down their game score due to a quote, lack of inclusivity and diversity, while spewing lies about the studio that originated with IGN. Now, what I find most hilarious about all these is the fact that one of their major claims is that there's not enough women in the game. And this Screen Rant author clearly did not go out of their way and actually play the entirety of the game, because they highlight in that the first 2 chapters, there's only one female character, and that really bothered them. And they say that the game doesn't feature a lot of women, but the game features over 10 female characters. And we're not talking about just like, oh, throw away, trash mobs. We're talking about important female characters that have names, that have stories, that are not just throwaways in this title. So they're complaining about something that isn't even an issue, but they're trying their very best to use their platform to attack this game. But clearly, it's not working. Clearly, people are not listening to what these activists have to say. Clearly, people are not really taking them seriously because it's selling so extremely well. It has sold the 10 million units across all platforms, and there are tons of gamers praising them for simply making a really freaking good product. Grums, aka Mark Kern, is saying, great job. People are saying congratulations. Are you concerned that Dustborn is close behind at 160 copies? And I've been covering Dustborn as well. Those developers were insane to launch their game on the same day as Black Myth Wukong. We knew that Wukong was going to be a smashing success, and it just shows how out of touch the devs behind Dustborn at Red Thread really are. People are saying things like, well deserved, this game is amazing, fantastic. Again, I've been live streaming a full playthrough of the title, and I have been having an absolute freaking blast so far. It's definitely in my top 5 games of the year, definitely top 3. I don't quite know yet, because there are still a few months left in the year, if it's going to be my game of the year, but it is going to be a very solid contender. And I feel like most people are saying the same thing. Yes, there are some complaining about technical difficulties. I think that was bound to happen because every single game has technical difficulties at this point. I haven't played a game that's released perfect in years. Even Elden Ring, a 10 out of 10 title, one of my favorite games of all time, it had technical difficulties, but it didn't take away from the experience. And I have not experienced any major issues with Black Myth Wukong like the journos were saying that they were having, but it seems everybody's pretty freaking happy with the product they created, and it's great to see so many people coming together to support this title. Embrace Monkey forever, and its gamers looking at Monkey instead of the DEI that they're holding hands with. At the end of the day, these developers at Game Science simply created something they were passionate about, and I appreciate that. They created a really high quality product, and it looks like Game Science is going to have a lot of supporters going forward. This is their first game release as a studio, and they've been working on it for a very long time at this point, and clearly this action RPG has been a smashing success, and I hope that they continue to work on Black Myth Wukong, right? That we get some kind of DLC, that they continue to reach new heights. But so far, things are looking absolutely fantastic for them. And at the same time, we've got these activists melting down over the fact that gamers did not listen to them and gamers did not boycott the game like they wanted. When these activists pick a target, they will do anything to try to bury it. We saw it happen with Hogwarts Legacy because they did not like JK. We saw it with Stellar Blade because they did not like the fact that there were sexualized women in the title. And now we're seeing it with Black Myth Wukong, and all of these accusations have been thrown around towards Game Science, and because Game Science hasn't come out and apologized and they've simply said no comment regarding the accusations, the mainstream has been melting down over the fact that these devs don't respect them, and it's clear as day to see gamers don't respect them either. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.